Hi class, hope you're all doing well. Today we're going to be continuing our discussion on functions in Python by talking about functions that return some value. So to start off, I'm going to start with a recap of where we are so far in our discussion on functions in Python. So we first started talking about defining our own functions. Those are some videos I did a couple weeks ago. And then last week, Mr. Trun talked about the scope of variables. So we have global variables, local variables. What happens when we define a variable outside of a function versus inside, and how can we access and modify them, and how do they behave? So this week we're going to be talking about functions that return values. It's a very useful and natural thing to do with functions. So again, I'm going to do a snap flashback. So just as I mentioned, Python functions are kind of the same thing as custom blocks in Snap. When we talk about Python functions that return values, this is the same thing as reporters when we did Snap. So I'll just do a quick flashback here and show you a custom block in Snap. Actually, it's a reporter because it returns some value. So this is function called min, and you give it two different numbers, num1 and num2, and it reports which of these two numbers is smaller. So if num2 is less than num1, we report num2, otherwise we'll return num1. So essentially just returning whichever one is smaller. So if between 2 and 8, 2 is smaller, so it's going to report 2 or return 2. And here for a -1, it's going to return -1 because that's smaller. So how do we do the same thing in Python? We want to return some value from our functions that we're creating. So we're going to be using the return keyword. So just like in Snap when we use a report block, when we use the return keyword in Python, it ends the function. So once we call that return command, the rest of the function gets skipped, which can be a useful thing sometimes. So talking about what values can you return from your Python function, it can be any type, like an integer, string, list, boolean, any kind of type you can think of. And you can even return nothing. Sometimes the function doesn't need to return anything, but you still need to use the return keyword to return from the function early. So end maybe in the middle. So with that, I'm going to use the same example that I showed in Snap, only let's look at it in Python. So this time I've called the function minimum. So I said def minimum, and I have two arguments or two inputs, num1 and num2. And it looks very similar to what I showed in Snap. So if num2 is less than num1, I'm going to return num2. This is our new keyword return. Otherwise, return num1. And so I'm just going to kind of do the same thing as in Snap and just print minimum of 2 and 8 and the minimum of 4 and -1. So we see that it gives us 2 and -1. So as you can see, a very normal thing that we'd want to do with functions. We want it to calculate something and return it back to us so that we can do something with it in our program. So just another quick example. This one is just showing why we might want to return with no value at all. So I've defined a function called mystery, and you give it a name. The name is a string, and it doesn't really return anything, but I'm still using a return function here. So if name is equal to Mr. Wegley, then I return from this function early. I'm basically skipping the whole rest of this function. And then after that, I print boo. So that's my mystery function. So here, outside of the function body, I call mystery twice, one with an input of Mr. Trun, one with an input of Mr. Wegley. So if you want, you can go ahead and take a guess how many times it's going to say boo. You can pause the video. And then I'm going to run this, and we can see it only calls boo once. So when you give it Mr. Trun, that's not equal to Mr. Wegley, so this return is not going to be called, and so it will continue on to print boo. But if you give it the input Mr. Wegley, this if statement becomes true, and we return nothing, but it's just going to skip the rest of this function body for us. So return is useful in two ways. It can return some value that we've calculated or processed in this function, and it also can control the flow of this function when we want to break out of it. So now I want to talk about Lab 3.3. What are we going to be doing for this week? So this is basically just like one of our Snap labs that we did that generated random sentences. I believe it was Lab 4.2 if you want to go look back at your Snap account. Right, so here we have a bunch of different lists of words. So we have a list of nouns called noun, list of verbs called verb, list of adjectives called adjective, and so on. And then basically we're going to be writing different functions that return different parts of a sentence, like a noun phrase or a prepositional phrase. So you'll have to go ahead and read through the right-hand side this lab write-up to see exactly what we want you to return from these functions. But I do want to talk about one function that we didn't have to write in Snap that we will have to write in Python. It's going to be one function that's going to help us write all the other functions. So we might call it a helper function. So this function is called pickRandom. Basically, we want you to write a function, fill in this function, and given some list of words, it could be the nouns, it could be the verbs, could be adjectives, and so on. From that list, give us one of the random words. And so you can see how that function would be useful in our other functions like noun phrase or prepositional phrase or verb phrase. So also, please read fully through this lab. And then also remember to write your function contracts. That is really useful for developers or programmers to share functions with each other. We need these comments to figure out what this function really does so we can understand how to use it. Alright, so I do want to give just a little bit of hint. Let's work through together on that helper function pickRandom. So I just want to go over how do we pick a random item from a list. And not just a list that we know about, it could be any list. We don't know how many things are in it. So just for this example, I'm going to have just a list that we know exactly what's in it. So we have, it's called noun and it's got 5 items in it, 5 words. But I want to pretend like I want to write some code that doesn't rely on the fact that there's only 5 items in this list. I want this code to be reusable for any kind of list. So let's first start by thinking about how we're going to pick a random item from this list. So our basic strategy is going to be pick a random number and use that number to pick which item in the list. So do we want item 0, because we start counting with 0, that would be giraffe. Item 1, item 2, all the way up to item 4 for this list, because there's 5 things in this list. So we do that with random.randint, and randint takes in 2 arguments, the smallest number that you'd want to get and the biggest number that you'd want to get. So we could write 0 to 4 because we know the noun list only has 5 things in it, so we only want indices from 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. But as I said, I don't want to have this code only be useful for the noun list. Let's say I use it on another list and it has 10 items, or this item only has 2 items. So instead of just putting the number 4 here, I'm going to use this function called len. Len takes in a list and returns the number of items in that list. So essentially, what's the length of that list? Len is short for length. So I'm going to put len of noun, which is my list. And so this code you can use whatever list you put in here. I'm putting in noun, but you could put any other list, like I'm going to put other list equals 1 and 2. So this is a 2-item list. I could put other list in here, for example. I don't have to switch it from 4 to 1, for example. So then my random item would just be other list at that index. So I could print random item. So the random item for other list should be have a small bug, and this is a very common bug. So the length of the list for this case would be 2, but since we start counting from 0, we only want to go from 0 to 1, so I actually need to subtract 1 from this. So probably a lot of you will encounter this, so hopefully that can save you some struggle. So you can see I can keep running this. I'll get a random item out of my other list, which just has 2 things in it. Not very interesting. So now if I want to switch it back to my noun list, all I have to do is change the list itself. I don't need to change this number from 1 to 4, and it will still work, because the len will always return the length of any list. So hopefully this gives a hint on how you could take these 2 lines of code here and turn that into your function called pickRandom, where you take in a list as an argument and return the random item. So looking forward to seeing all your submissions for Lab 3.3, and hope you're all staying well, and talk to you on Wednesday.